look, it's getting out of hand now, because when you have Lord Cameron, the Foreign Secretary of Great Britain, threatening us with a European-wide arms embargo, as he did last week, unless we allow the United Nations access to Hamas prisoners. I want people to kind of wrap their heads around this. This is coming from the foreign minister, if you will, of a country that I consider to be equally guilty as the Nazis of murdering 6 million Jews during the Khurban. When they issued the white paper to appease the Arabs in 1938-39, slamming the door shut to European Jewry that was desperately trying to get out of Europe before the night fell, as Elie Wiesel put it. It's the height of chutzpah for him to come along and now make these statements. The British have never apologized to this day, for what role they played in the murder of 6 million European Jews. Not to this day. And now this Lord Cameron comes along and threatens us. I mean, the hypocrisy is unbelievable. Why doesn't he threaten the United Nations that the Red Cross, that unless they get in to see our hostages, they'll be given no support at all in their effort to see the Hamas prisoners. Personally, and again, I've been quoted on this, so I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the veracity of the claims against me. I feel that we shouldn't even be having this problem with the Red Cross, because none of the Hamas prisoners should ever have been taken alive. None of them should be breathing right now. None of them. So there wouldn't be a problem with the United Nations if that were the fact. But here we have this insanity occurring without an adequate pushback on our part. Did we hear any? I know Menachem Begin would have been capable, whether he would have or not is another story, but he would have been capable of telling Lord Cameron, you're the last one in the world that should be accusing us of inhumane treatment of these animals. Notice my mixed metaphor of these animals. Look to yourself. You've never apologized for what you did to our people during the night, the night of darkness and copper, of night in fog, what you did to us during the Second World War. Don't scare us with your European, embargo against us. We're not listening to you. Go talk to the dogs. So
I would agree with everything that you said, except for one expression, the term you used, Great Britain, because it is no longer great and is in fact no longer British.
No, it isn't.
It is rapidly becoming, and this I think is a clear case of what we call in Hebrew Torah speak, midah keneged midah. This is the just deserts of an evil empire that
has come home to roost.
That was guilty of what you just described, the white paper, and therefore the inability of so many millions of Jews to escape the Nazi regime and its horrors, and the very same regime, led in this case by the minister of the colonies, I think that was his title, Winston Churchill.
Mm-hmm.
They abrogated the terms of the mandate they received from the League of Nations, which was binding according to international law, which some people...
It still is.
It still is, you're absolutely correct. Some people like and believe, the concept of international and believe in it. I neither like it nor believe in it. But if you do, there was such a thing, there is such a thing, it's still binding. Nevertheless, the British, in this case Churchill, simply tore 70% roughly of that territory, the British Mandate territory, which was all to be given to the Jewish people to establish a state. was wrenched away from us without by your leave, and they created the fictitious Transjordan for their own narrow political purposes. But we've discussed that already in the past, the question of Jordan, what's likely to happen to Jordan in the not too distant future. So we won't go there again.